university boy wanting shoes for his graduation from us. I went and I gave him 50% off. Yeah, I mean, because for him, he was aspiring to wear our brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also aspiring to wear your brand.
And so lawyers
Oh, we do
address
so.
address
I think
that
we
point.
do that too, especially with new clients.
2000. This is senior lawyer. I mean, everywhere has even been a minister before. So you will not even think 2000 or the other. He slapped the other lawyer. I mean, counsel on the other side. 2000 cost, and he said he will not treat it as costing cost. When you say costing cost, it means you wait till the litigation is over and you put everything together and say he pays. They left court around 11. He said 2 o'clock. And he called him. Hey, who they scan and send him 1,500? Obia here, Scout. Welcome to today's edition of the Edfields Podcast, your everyday podcast. Today we are discussing the place of lawyers in our daily lives. My name is Prince. I'm your host, and today I have Alberta, Tonyi, and Eunice to help me do this discussion. I'm sure that you appreciate the role of other professionals, like a doctor. Of course, if you are sick, you know that a doctor has to come. When you are building, you look for a mason. So now the question we are asking is, at what point do you need a lawyer? So you are the businessman here. Tell us, at what point in your business or in your career have you thought that, okay, the services of a lawyer is needed?
Well, for businesses, and if I'm speaking for startups or young businesses, I would say that you will think of a lawyer, or you think you will need a lawyer when you are going to sign like $1 million contract, or when you are doing the big business,
Yeah.
But your day-to-day running around, the need of a lawyer wouldn't come to your mind. But later you realize that even from registration, from the name of your business through registration with RGD and the statutory institutions, you need a lawyer.
Yeah.
But you can't blame us. One, we don't necessarily know that we will need a lawyer at that point. Okay. And secondly, even if we know the cost, because for us it's a big deal that I need a lawyer to register my business for me, because most small businesses can't afford the services of a lawyer. And let me say this: growing up, when you hear someone say that, "Oh, that's my father's lawyer," it's kind of aristocratic, that my father's lawyer. Then your father must be rich to be able to have a lawyer to say that my father's lawyer.
Yeah.
Even now, when a young businessman says that, let me talk to my lawyer before I come back to you, it puts you perceive, or you see him in a certain light that it's either a serious business, he's a big business,
or a rich man.
So one cannot really tell. It depends on one's exposure, one's level of awareness, and also the resources, and even the urgency of a situation that will make one look for a lawyer.
But Albie, let me ask you this. In your career as a lawyer, has anyone approached you to ask you why they should, employ your services?
No, most of the time, it's a problem. They are calling to say, it's either somebody has been arrested, or I have some land somewhere. Some people have come
only when they are in trouble.
To say that the land is for them. It's always an issue or the other. I hardly, I don't think I've, apart from, let's say, our corporate clients, maybe in the course of your work in the office, you get an assignment that you have to review a contract or something. But on my own, nobody has approached me to tell me, oh, I'm going into an agreement. Can you review the contract? No, it's always when they are in trouble.
Eunice, same with you?
Same issue. And people only approach you when they find themselves in trouble. So usually when someone is, let's say, purchasing land, or maybe the person's family member or something is in trouble, that's when they will say, oh, maybe I have this lawyer somewhere, let me contact the person for help. But they don't usually engage you when they are maybe, let's say, starting a business, as Tonyi said, or anything.
And you know, people also say, when people find out you're a lawyer, what is the next thing they say? I can start causing trouble.
Exactly.
So they associate
Your lawyer friend will help.
they associate being a lawyer with what do you call it, solving problems or appearing or being necessary when there's trouble. I've never heard someone say, I tell someone, oh, I'm a lawyer, and the person's like, okay, I have some businesses, so when I get, you'll be reviewing my contracts. No, it's always, oh, I can beat somebody or I can go and cause trouble. So that is the mindset that a lot of people have.
Yeah, talking about the acquisition of land, I know we will dedicate a special edition for real estate, but in the acquisition of land, or let me say real estate, what will be the role of a lawyer in that regard?
There's so much that a lawyer should do, not a lawyer can do. There's so much a lawyer should do. And you see, let's say, for example, Eunice has land and Eunice wants to sell the land to me. I may think Eunice is my colleague or Eunice is my friend. We've sat in class for how many years? So, and I know that she's been, let's say, I've known her for a year and that's where she lives. And she tells me she's traveling, so she wants to sell the land to me. I go give her the money. And then later I find out that she's not the owner of the land.
Yeah.
And even if she shows me documents to show that she has bought the land, there are some areas where that this area, it is only a chief who can sell the land to you. It is only, in this area, it's only a family head who can sell the land to you.
Yeah.
You, the one going to buy the land, you don't have that knowledge. So if you get a lawyer to start the process for you, there's a lot of due diligence that goes on before you conclude on the transaction. So if you skip all these things because you think that, I'm going to spend so and so amount on the land and I should put this money aside to pay a lawyer, you would end up litigating in court for God knows how long. And we know how long land is very, when it comes to court cases. So you end up spending more money than...
So with the issue of the land or buying a property, from a layman point of view, sometimes we think a problem wouldn't arise.
Yes.
It's just like, we feel like it's just going to Accra Mall and picking a milk, a tin of milk off the shelf. So we only realize we will need a lawyer when the entanglement, starts showing its head. So we don't know. Alberta, we don't know that we will need a lawyer, and we also do the business from a place of trust.
Exactly. I was coming to add to it.
Yes.
I have this experience I've shared with a lot of people. My father called me that one of his friends was coming from the US to acquire land in Accra. So my first question was, okay, where in Accra? Then he mentioned around Spintex. Any lawyer who deals with land, immediately you mention land,
Spintex.
the person will start asking questions.
Red flags.
And then I was like, okay, tell him to wait. He should call me. Let's go through some process. And then my father called me back, laughing that he says he's an area boy. He knows everything about the land. So Kashigbe. I was like, okay. Then he came to Ghana, paid $2 million for 1 acre. The day he was taking machines to the site, someone was working on it. They are still in court. So it's like, aside this, nothing will happen. People dwell on the knowledge they have to think that, this one is nothing.
Yeah.
Why would I get a lawyer who will come and charge a lot of money when I can do it myself? And then it becomes a problem. Eunice.
And you see, for example, let's say, even if you know somebody has been on the land for, let's say, 10 years, it may be a lease, right? The person
Yeah.
has a lease of a certain number of years. But then you go for the land, you know that, oh, this person has been here for this long. And that alone is giving you the satisfaction that it is a good transaction. So you buy the land, and then if you had given it to your lawyer to
You'd
do
have
the
seen
due
that.
diligence, you'd have seen that no, this is a
It's like with
lease.
3 months.
And exactly, so he can't sell you another lease for, let's say, 50 years, or tell you that he's selling you
Yeah.
an outright. And you know the law on that right now.
Yeah.
You can't do an outright deal.
Yeah.
So this is not knowledge that is out there. I don't think in your daily life you won't go and sit down and open the constitution or open this, and you don't have time to do that. So you are spending your time to focus on your business. So then you also have to involve your lawyer to make sure that whatever you are doing is in line with the law, so you don't suffer at the end. Because at the end of the day, the money you want to keep for yourself, you will spend over 100 times the amount if trouble arises.
But what about family related issues? Marriage, children, family. I don't want to say family land, but family property, those things. Where you say, oh, he's my brother, he's my sister, nothing would happen. Would you still need a lawyer?
And even in some instances, there is someone designated as a family lawyer.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if that problem arises, how do they resolve it? Do you understand? Yeah. So, a father dies, bequeath the estate to the family
Yes.
or the kids, but in sharing, problem arises.
Estate
And they've
issues.
even
Yeah.
seen instances in court where family members are litigating over
Yes.
land and all those things. So you would still need a lawyer.
And I always say
Because-
that no matter how, even best friends fight every day. Husband and wife, they fight. The closest form of relation you can think of, they can, the following day, it may happen that they are not talking anymore.
Yeah.
And you never know what will happen in future. So it's not like you are living your life and you are always thinking in the negative, but you should have these things in mind. Siblings can be the coolest of friends, but sometimes when property issues come up, or somebody knows that, oh, maybe it looks like I'm going to be entitled to this at the end of the day, then things come up. So in as much as you trust the person, you should make sure that you involve your lawyer. If you both involve your lawyers, your lawyer will look for your interest. Your friend's lawyers will look for their interest. And at the end of the day, everybody is fine.
Let me ask you this, Eunice. Talking about estate issues, I know most of them are not necessarily when there is no will. Most of them are even when there is a will.
Yeah.
In your experience, have you encountered a situation where there is a will, all right, but there's a problem because a lawyer was not involved right from the onset? See the drafting of the will or something.
Okay. I've had a close family member contact me concerning this issue. Apparently, the daddy died leaving a will behind,
Yeah.
but I think the daddy wasn't really advised when the will was being prepared, so he didn't really leave much of the estate to the children.
Yeah.
And they ended up in court contesting their rights as children. But the issue is that, under the law, before you can apply, unless probably you are under 18 or something, and you would have to establish maybe substantial hardship. But here is the
dependent.
case, yes, the kids are over 18 and they are still litigating over the land. But you see, if the man had a lawyer to advise him, he would understand that even in issues like this, a will is something that you can, as of rights, give your property.
Yes.
You don't have to necessarily, let's say, it's intentional.
Can
So
give to anyone.
you would have to decide.
Yes.
So if the person had a lawyer in place, the lawyer would have advised the person on the necessary path to take.
And even the will, there are some people who don't even understand that when someone is made a beneficiary in a will, it's not advisable for the person to witness.
The
The
person
will.
shouldn't even witness because you won't get anything at the end of the day.
You know, maybe you
but-
have 3 witnesses.
Okay,
And,
that's
uh-huh.
That's
yeah.
allowed.
But they don't even know that it's not advisable.
When
Yeah,
say-
you're coming to say
yeah,
something.
I mean, when you say look, Prince, we don't know anything.
That is the
That's why
point.
you need a lawyer.
That is the
Yeah, we
point.
don't know
That
anything.
people have gone through legal training to take care of these things,
Yes.
and you don't know. That is the fact. There are some things it may happen that maybe in your field of practice too, or your kind of work, the lawyer is expected to know a little bit of everything, but you will be more experienced. But when it comes to these things, it is also the lawyer who is experienced. So it's you always have to think into the future. A lot of people don't. I mean, if there's no issue, why should I be thinking
Yeah.
about? But at the end of the day, something will come up.
So let me ask, if I decide to keep a lawyer or have a lawyer for every transaction throughout my life, how do I keep him? What kind of financial arrangement can I have with the lawyer? Monthly payment or as and when he offers advice?
So there are different types of payments plans or arrangements that you have. We have the retainer.
Yeah.
So a person may decide that, okay, I want Eunice to be my lawyer on retainer. I pay her a specific amount every month or a specific amount every quarter. Within a period, I pay whether, no matter what comes up, Eunice is the person I go to. But even with retainer, there are some exceptions. If it's something that is, let's say you have to go to court, you have to do litigation, or it's something, there's always a scope.
Yes.
So if once it's outside the scope, then you would have to pay extra. But if maybe you sit back and you think you don't really have, let's say, you won't be going to the lawyer frequently. You can have an arrangement anytime. So if you want me to review a contract for you, then you pay for that. If let's say 3 months later or 6 months later something comes up and you want me to do something for you, if you want me to draft something, then as and when the work comes, then we have an arrangement. So and then there's also sometimes
Access.
yes, that mostly has to do with litigation. So you would have an arrangement. Let's say you want to recover money from someone, so you have an arrangement. When the money is recovered, the lawyer gets so and so amount or so and so percentage of the amount. So there are so many. It's flexible. It depends on the kind of arrangement you have, and then the kind of work that you want the lawyer to do for you.
Okay, so for someone who has a very quiet life, they are not involved in a lot of things. They go to their work,
Yeah.
they go home and sleep. Will they also necessarily have to have a lawyer close by or a lawyer in their pocket?
Yes, because anything can happen at any time. And I'm not even talking about trouble. Let's say something comes up and then you have to, let's say you go to buy something and then they give you a contract. You have to read and sign, or they are giving you some terms and conditions. Then you should have a lawyer that you can speak to, because as I always say, the English you see on paper always has legal implications. So it's not, you should have somebody. It's not like you're going to be paying the person all the time, but there should be a lawyer, just as you have a doctor. Once, if I'm not feeling well, there's somebody I can call. If I can't go to the hospital, there's somebody I can call. You should have a lawyer that you can always speak to. You get it? So you should, once you are alive and you are moving, you will need a lawyer one way or the other.
It's just like when we were growing up, everyone was told that when you have headache, you can just take paracetamol. But it gets to a point you realize that there are some people, when they take the paracetamol, something can happen to them. You may think that there are ordinary solutions to the ordinary problems that you have. But considering the context within which you may need that one, a lawyer may tell you that that particular solution you want to solve your problem with may be dangerous. A typical example is where you have your business and you think that you can just all the people who work for you, you can have a contract with them and say that they are independent contractors, which means you only give them salary, go and pay your own tax. We don't pay any SNIT for you. And then you work with the person to a certain point. You may think that is ordinary. That's what you do. One day, you will realize that the people you are working with are, in fact, employees. That all those things are supposed to be paid. So if you didn't really think about the importance of a lawyer because it is in the ordinary course of business,
Yeah.
and I've been doing that for a long time. One day GRA will come and catch you. You will see that Senate will also be chasing you, and that is where you realize that I will need a lawyer. But it is important that people come to the realization that lawyers don't only solve problems; they try to avoid problems from also coming up.
Prince, with that, I think it's just the mindset. Usually, when we think about lawyers, we see them in the light of complex litigation, but we also we also push towards amicable solutions
Yeah.
as well, because there are some issues that maybe amongst the litigants, let's go to court. This one, my lawyer, we need to go to court. But sometimes when you look at the issue, you would see that this is something that we can sit down and negotiate or talk about it. So it's not as if you would have to involve yourself in complex litigation or something before necessarily. So
Okay, so in looking for lawyers, where do we find them? Do we go to the internet and Google, I want a lawyer? Or do we go to the court and lurk around and say, this guy, the way he's dressed, I like him. So,
but people actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah, they find they go
People
to
hang
court.
around court.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
To see who has the biggest file.
File.
It means this guy, a lot of
Hitting
people go to him.
tables, shouting objection.
Yeah. Yeah. But because now we are allowed to be out there. If I say out there, some time ago, you could not do any form of advertisement. Now we are allowed to have websites.
Okay.
We are allowed to do social media. Not necessarily going to say, I am the lawyer. I win 30 cases out of every 35. Come to me. No. But you get to see some of the works that the lawyers do to have an informed, decision made. Now, people have signboards. People have offices that are very visible. And I also advise people that it's not always that you just go to the internet to type top 10 law firms in Accra. And then the first one that pops up, that is my option. Sometimes you ask questions.
Okay.
There are people who are more exposed than you are. That I have XYZ problem or this business decision I would want a lawyer to look at. Who do you suggest? You get one or two, 1, 2, 3. You make a choice.
And you see, you can't even generalize, like the example you gave about the internet.
Yeah.
There are some law firms that are known for, let's say, when it comes to corporates,
Exactly.
the
Yes.
corporate area.
Yes.
There are some that are known for criminal
Some
law. There are some that are
civil litigation.
So if, let's say, my issue is a criminal issue, and I go and type top 10, and then one of the top 10 is a law firm. It's not like they don't do criminal, but they are very good when it comes
Yeah.
to corporates. Then you won't be getting. There may be
Absolutely.
another law firm that will,
Yeah.
will give you a better, So,
Yeah.
but
It-
I think generally lawyers are everywhere these days. Like almost everywhere you go, you meet a lawyer. So I don't think it's very, very difficult. But for those who don't know where to find a lawyer, so you find them in the courts. You be there, somebody will walk up to you and talk to you. Oh, can I have your card out? That kind of thing. So it happens.
And those who come there, that they have problems that they are looking for
They
lawyers to-
do. They
Definitely.
do.
Okay.
They do.
And sometimes I don't want to box it as a problem. Some of them need services.
Okay.
So, for example, you are going to take an investment decision. That cannot be a problem.
Okay.
You have some money you want to invest. If having money is a problem, then I want it. I want that problem. I want to have that problem.
Same.
Yes, the person has money that the person wants to invest, say in real estate, in shares, and all those things. There are people who are well versed in those things.
Some to be hanging around comparing prices.
Okay.
Yes,
Maybe they have engaged the services of one lawyer and the fees that the person has charged them, the person is not okay with it. So they'll just be going around more like fishing.
Yes,
for
but
some.
at the end of the day, you still need the services.
Exactly.
You see,
So in that instance, they tell you what they want from you and they ask you, lawyer Benjamin.
That's why it's not advisable you even engage them. Let's say what Albi was saying around the courtroom. It's not even advisable to engage clients there. If you have an office, they should come to the office.
Because they won't even tell you the
Exactly.
I can't stand there within 2 minutes.
Exactly.
You are telling me something and I would let you come and then you tell me your story. Then if there's anything, sometimes they tell you the story and then when you tell them, oh, do you have this? Go and bring this document. They bring it and there's something else.
Different.
So you would have to really look at it before you can, say anything.
so it's in their own interest that they come to the office.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now investment. The person who is investing is a businessman. It's just like me going to you and talking about shoes. You are a guru in that. What would be my role? So I'm looking at a situation where someone who is a business person who is into investment is doing his business, and you are a lawyer saying your services is required. What will be your role? What would you be doing as far as that investment is concerned? Do lawyers actually have any role to play when it comes to investment?
Oh, they do, because once you're investing, it is between you and another party or other parties. And there's something you are looking for. There's a reason why you are going into the investment. So it's also, it's common that you would go into a contract, an investment agreement,
Yeah.
spelling out what each party is supposed to do in the events of termination, or in the events of this and that, this should happen. So lawyers are equally
And even with regulatory compliance as well.
exactly, yeah.
Trying to
Tax
gauge
implications
the
and
risk
everything.
analysis.
Exactly.
Yeah, all those things come. Okay, great. Now we've moved from investment. The money has come, and we are looking at the money, and I'm looking at a situation where someone is asking you, what should I do with my money aside investment? Would that one too require a lawyer to come and tell you how to spend your money? Someone will say that for money, spending money, you just have to go out there and find a restaurant. You have some food to eat. There are other things that money can do that people should look out for. And do you think that lawyers have a say or lawyers have a role to play as far as those things are concerned?
I think so, because you see, lawyers, the thing is, we do a lot of things. It's not about going to court only. It's not about sitting down and drafting contracts or reviewing contracts. Sometimes lawyers also advise clients on what to do with their assets or their resources or
Yeah.
whatever they have. So, for example, let's say you are confused, you don't know whether to go into let's say real estate, or you want to go into oil and gas. I know they are consultants. People, they are not lawyers, but
Yes.
they are consultants for different areas. You can go to them, but lawyers are also, there are some lawyers that specialize in certain areas.
Yeah.
So they can
Advisory
tell you that
services.
maybe if you invest, looking at the market, if you invest in this, and they will also give you not just the market aspects of it, but then the legal aspects of it. What is the implication? What are the tax implications when you if you
Tax,
go here?
exactly.
When
Yeah.
you go here, what are you supposed to do? What are the prospects? The lawyer also has that. The lawyer can also, come in when you are doing.
Not to cut you short, but especially tax. There are people who have just specialized in tax,
Yeah.
tax stuff, compliance, arrangement, and all those things, and they are not necessarily lawyers. How would you convince someone who knows the activities of those people to jettison these people and come to you, the lawyer? It's just like me going to convince someone who knows a better shoe, than what he is wearing, to come to my shop instead of going to Horseman. When I know that Horseman is is the guru when it comes to that. Now you have tax people who do these tax things, and as a lawyer, you also know how to do these things, and you are supposed to convince the person that he should come to the lawyer instead of going to these tax.
I don't think it's necessarily about convincing, but it's just that as a lawyer, it's a plus because you have an area of the law and the tax as well.
Yeah.
And tax in general, we have taxation as
Yeah.
well, the law aspect of it. So I think you would have an upper hand over just the person who has more like just the theory aspect of
Yes.
it, because you'll be able to delve more into the law aspect of it. So it's just that your work should speak for itself. So it's not about really convincing the person, but if the person really knows the value of what he or she wants, then it's advisable you engage someone who is a lawyer plus having an idea about the whole tax thing.
Foreign participation, foreigners who are coming to Ghana, whether to invest, to live here, why would they need the services of lawyers?
You see, most law, Ghanaian law is different from American law. It's different from British law. That is why, as a lawyer, when I'm called to the bar in Ghana, I can't go to UK and practice. We are all lawyers, but the laws that govern them are different from the laws that govern us. So if you are in a different country, you are not here, you don't have staff here, you don't have lawyers here, you'd have to get a lawyer in Ghana, because there are some let's say, for example, companies. There in Ghana, you need to have a company secretary if you are incorporating a company.
Yeah.
Some countries you don't need to have a company secretary. You get it? There are so many. There's a distinction between our laws and then the laws of
Even
other countries.
restrictions.
Yeah, so if you don't do that, you end up, and you see, if you are going into another country, most of the time you're investing a lot of money. So you go and invest a lot of money, and at the end of the day, what you are doing is not, it's against the law, and at the
Yes.
end of the day, you lose everything. So it's very, very important. That's for that one. You can't go away from it.
This will be my last question, but this I would direct it to Tonyi. Being a businessman, has there been a day that you sat down and say, had I involved a lawyer in this, it would have been better?
Oh yes, several times. And my biggest I wouldn't say regret, but eye-opening moment was in 2010. I had just started my business.
Yeah.
I did some business with some schools, a lot of schools, and there wasn't any agreement. It was just word of mouth. I go to the office of the head chief. I make sandals. Oh, okay, nice. We want 500. I go to the next school. We want 200. Some of them I even dropped letters. They came to see it later and they called. So it was just on phone. Give us 300. Spread the sizes for us. No payment. No agreement whatsoever. Later I had my fingers bent and I realized that I needed the services
He
of a
learns the
lawyer.
hard way.
Yeah. So I mean, for businesses, Prince, I wouldn't lie to you. We need lawyers. But like I said in the beginning, it's a matter of access to lawyers and also affordability. That is the main stumbling block between small businesses and getting professional advice from lawyers.
Yeah, that's useful. That's useful. Unfortunately, our time is up. We have to cut the discussion here. I'm sure that we will have a part 2 of this to delve into very specific issues. And so, viewers and listeners, thank you for joining. We hope that we've been able to advise you as to why you need a lawyer and not necessarily when you are in trouble. We are not necessarily trouble or problem solvers, as in the problem comes and then we solve them. Sometimes we make sure the problems don't come at all. And so once again, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you another time.